Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa atba'ihi wa sallim. Rabbana ighfir lana warhamna wa anta khairur rahimin. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. We have been studying this chapter Falaq, and we studied the verse 1 and 2, but we have not quite finished the verse 2, which is قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ مِنْ شَرِّ مَا خَلَقَ, which means, if you study the verse 2, you have to say it, أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق. It means من شر ما خلق, which means I seek refuge from the evil of what he has created. We discussed a lot how then why and how I should seek refuge from what God has created. But if God has created, then it must be good. But if God creates evil, that is his problem, not my problem. So we said, no, it is not that literal meaning. It means something else. I think, would you like to share your understanding last week?
Sure. What we discussed in a nutshell was evil of something really lies in how I view something. So my interpretation of an event.
My interpretation of an event, yeah. So your interpretation may become evil for you if you interpret it in the wrong way, not in the way that it is supposed to be interpreted.
Generally speaking, in existence or the creation of everything in existence is good. It's good, but it's just my relationship with it. I may make it evil for me. And we give the example of a manufacturer making, let's say, for example, knife. Or let's take a practical example, illness, right? It's created. And then obviously there are cure and creation for that, so you may take some pills for it. Obviously, if you overdo yourself, then the cure can also be evil for you, or the illness can also be evil for you. It's really how you look into things can become evil for you.
Emphasize the importance of the word, how you look at the thing. How it may turn the event, which is good in its creation, into an evil. For example, if I am ill, how can I interpret this? And this event may turn into evil, while if I interpreted it in another way, it may not be evil. Can you give me an example? So illness is hurting me now. I'm feeling the pain now, very severe pain, let's say, and help me understand my case.
Well, one way to look at it would be there must be a cure for it in the order. In creation, let me find out the cure. But still, it's painful. Then if I don't take that event, because it's created, it's given. I didn't choose to acquire it. It's given. And And so it's really how I view it. Does it remind me of what am I? I don't even control anything, even any part of my breathing. I mean, it makes me realize how I don't control my own being. Like I'm given existence every morning. I don't know how I'm breathing, and then another day is given, another moment is given. So if I recognize that the existence of the illness must have an existence giver. So the existence of the illness points to the one that's giving it. So I have someone who knows me, who's taking care of me.
But he's giving me illness now.
Mm-hmm. And I
So
dislike it. I don't want it. So, but definitely there's a message in it. It's a sign or it's a message telling me
So,
something about my reality.
I think anybody else who will help me?
So just I think Daria mentioned a lot of the important points that we went over last week. And I think another key aspect is about evaluating any action or act or event, any existing thing within the context of what it means to me as a human being, what it means for the human experience, and understanding it within the context of what the purpose and aim of one's existence is. And generally, I guess when we think about, what is the overarching aim, one thinks about happiness. I think that's usually a universal answer. Like everyone wants to be happy. And it's about trying to investigate what is the source of happiness in the sense that I seek it, in an ultimate sense, in a sense where it is absolute, uninterrupted, eternal happiness.
It's what we need.
Right. I recognize that need in myself, and I search for that happiness in all experiences of my life. And I evaluate any event that I experience with regard to what it contributes or how it helps me in pursuit of that need for happiness.
So can I conclude from what both of you said? The purpose of my existence is to reach happiness.
Yes, but I would say that it's also about understanding what happiness means for me. Because is it happiness that's fleeting, or what actually brings me happiness in the sense that I actually need it, which for me is existential happiness. Happiness that gives me security in my existence.
Not necessarily that we should understand from happiness the pleasure of life as I see it in this universe, as I see it, rather than looking at the pleasure from existential point of view. For example, when I am hungry, I may eat food and enjoy. That's typical example, and what we always do this. But do you mean this type of happiness that when I eat the food, I will be satisfied and be happy?
When I reach for the food, I'm actually trying to satisfy an existential need there. In that when I eat, let's say, a fruit I really like, I want that feeling of pleasure to be eternal.
To be satisfied eternally.
To be satisfied eternally,
right?
Right.
Temporary.
If it's temporary, then I might eat another one and another one, but then after a while, even that stops giving me pleasure anymore.
That is not human.
Right. Yeah. So I see that it's not the source of the happiness that I'm actually seeking. In the eternally satisfying sense. Because it doesn't.
So how can I turn this? Is there any way to turn this temporary happiness from temporary happiness from just one day pleasure and turn it into eternal happiness? Is it possible? Because as a human being, I'm not satisfied with temporary happiness.
Right.
anything temporary doesn't really satisfy my human need. But on an occasion, I may be satisfied temporarily, but my human side looks for eternal happiness, and eternal happiness can only be found
in a source that's not transient.
now through the meaning of existence, which points to the eternal source of existence.
Mhm.
So if the eternal source of existence, if I become satisfied with the existence of the eternal source of existence, I can attach my existence to the eternal source of existence. And the pleasure I get, temporary pleasure, I get from food or any other thing that I enjoy in this world, turns into, because of the source of this pleasure is an absolute one, which is the source of existence, must be an absolute one by definition. So I attach my existence to this absolute one, and I am secured in my existence, in the existence of my temporary pleasure now.
Right, which
That
is
is
why
what we have to establish the connection. Are you following me? Establish the connection from temporary pleasure, reach out the eternal pleasure through looking at the source of existence of this temporary pleasure. Get it? Temporary pleasure. Source of the existence of this temporary pleasure can be only the one who gave existence to the sense of pleasure. And this one cannot be within the universe. That's why this source of existence of the pleasure that I temporarily got it from food. So the creator of the food and the creator of the taste of the food cannot be within the universe. If I have to understand this. If I did not understand this, we should stop talking about evil or anything in this world. We have to argue whether the things, the food, can exist by itself or can be given existence by the universe itself. But if we assume that since we are studying the evil in the creation of God, that we should seek refuge from. So, for example, I got pleasure from something, anything, but the food example is practical. I am hungry, and when I am satisfied with the food, I feel happy and pleasure. Right? This is a temporary event. What I should do first, I should investigate how this food can come into existence. Number one. The second step, how the taste within the food can come into existence. That's the second. And the third, how my tool of tasting, which is called tongue or whatever, the mouth structure, whatever, can come into existence. 3 and 4, how my understanding or expectation of eternal, permanent satisfaction can happen in my being. Where did I get this need for eternal satisfaction? It is a need. It is something which is created within me. Right? So I have to question all this And then I can turn the temporary pleasure into a permanent pleasure by attributing the existence of the temporary pleasure to an absolute being. That is the only way you can do it. So if someone doesn't reflect on his pleasure when he gets from the food, for example, then this person cannot get satisfaction within himself. That's one result. The second result, you cannot tell this person if he is hungry and there is no food, or food harms him, causes him illness, for example. He cannot question further because he did not question the very basic fundamental subject, which is what is the source of existence of anything within this universe. Every reflection, every thought related to any matter, any religious context, any religious context, must start from questioning the source of existence of anything in question. It means whatever we are discussing. If we don't start from here, the source of existence of anything, source of existence of myself, source of existence of my feelings, my needs, my expectations, my fear, or my pain, and everything, you cannot go further at all. Any claim which omits this stage will be, say, you said this,
Meaningless.
sorry, any claim which omits this stage, questioning the source of existence, will be futile, baseless. So if you say, my religion tells me, my source of religion, maybe God's word tells me, will be baseless. Just baseless claim. It is not belief. So we have to start from there. So you continue here. Now, when I start questioning, I'm starting off the new paragraph now that you will continue. When I start questioning the source of existence of anything that I liked or disliked, I have to end up with what?
The conclusion that it can't be the source of existence of itself.
And also, one thing, it can be the source of existence of itself, and also maybe something else made it in the universe.
Of anything else within the universe.
Because I can observe
that everything is dependent in its own
dependent,
existence.
and nothing has the power or the quality to give existence to anything else. So I have to say, what is the source of existence of this thing or phenomenon, whatever it is, taste, hope, fear, thinking, whatever it is. Even when we start thinking, we have to question how the power to think exists. What is the cause of existence of this power? I have to question. If we don't start questioning and base our argument on anything else, how powerful the religious claim is, for example, Quran says so for Muslims, Bible says so for Christians, will be, say it. What will be
baseless. I mean, it doesn't stand on anything.
Just false claim, irrational claim, right? Because you have to say, why do you take the Quran as the source of reference for you? Again, you have to go through it.
I have some problems with the concept of eternity. For example, in that example of satisfying hunger with food and getting pleasure out of it and connecting it to the eternal source.
Yeah, because
Does
if
it
you
make my
question-
pleasure,
if you question
if I question
how
it,
come it exists?
and if I come to the conclusion that, okay,
Yeah, if I come to the
source
conclusion.
of this pleasure that's being satisfied points to the eternal,
Or an eternal,
to an
absolute
eternal
being.
being creator,
Yeah.
does it make my pleasure eternal?
Yeah, because the source of is eternal,
If the source is eternal, does it make my pleasure eternal?
yeah, must be so. Why? Because you
When I
actually,
stop being satisfied with this food and move on to something else,
oh, okay,
does it
but
stop, or and that's that idea of eternity is confusing me. How I can transfer this
because
this
existence.
eternity to
Sorry,
myself.
I keep interrupting you. I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
thought you finished it, but I jumped it. So finish it completely what you are saying.
I don't understand how to transfer that concept of eternity to myself, being a transient being a transient being, experiencing transient things in my life. Yeah, how can I grasp this eternity that you're mentioning?
Now you are thirsty.
Uh-huh.
Okay. You drink, or you need a cup of water. Okay. So this water, when you drink it, it satisfies you. But a cup of water finished.
Okay.
Okay. And you say, well, I'm satisfied now, but you are a human being. Yeah?
Mhm.
We are not treating with a I don't know, rabbit or squirrel. So human beings says, no, it was very nice, but when the action of drinking water finished, my satisfaction finished,
Yeah.
my taste finished. Yeah. And you know that from your previous experience, there must be the time that you will be thirsty again. If you don't notice that, if you don't conclude that, notice was the wrong word, conclude that this water comes from ocean and ocean is accessible to you. Do you worry about your being thirsty tomorrow?
If it comes from the ocean,
Yeah, and ocean is accessible to you.
Uh-huh.
And you are by the ocean. Do you worry about being thirsty tomorrow?
no.
Why? Because the source is next to you.
Mhm.
Now, we have to be very careful. If we understand that the source of existence of a cup of water, it is limited, temporary. Yeah? Are you with me? Yeah. A cup of water. If we question the source of existence of this cup of water, can only be a one or a thing which is not within the universe. We have to go through this. So the pleasure, a temporary pleasure which fades away. When you think of your tomorrow is thirst, it fades away. I was happy, but tomorrow I don't know. Especially in the conditions of this very real world, one day I will die and I will not experience this pleasure anymore. So a despair occurs in your experience. If you start questioning the source of existence of that cup of water, if you can, by rationally thinking, end up saying that the source of existence of this water is not within the universe, because everything like the water needs to be created, given existence. The other things, clouds, need to be created. Wind need to be created. Temperature change need to be created. Whatever, all the process. The water molecules need to be created. So everything else in the world needs to be created. You say the source of existence of the universe, and especially, particularly my subject now, water cannot be within the universe. What does it mean? It is the source of existence of the whole universe. So look at the nature of the universe, you will realize that it is continuously changing, it is so sophisticated, and the changing takes at the same time, at every moment. And the way it comes into existence is extraordinary. Yeah. So what you do, this source must be infinite one, absolute one. So, like the ocean next to you, what you find, the absolute creator of that cup of water only is the creator of the universe, and you are within the universe. It is accessible to you now. So you say, okay, whoever created the water, we listed 4 stages. Whoever created the water, whoever created the pleasure, the taste within water, whoever created my taste of it, whoever created fourth stage now, whoever created the need in me for an eternal, limitless satisfaction secures my existence. Now, death cannot be the end of existence. That's another subject. But we have to understand that death is the separation. But there's another subject, just briefly touching upon it and passing by. The body and spirit. Separation is called death. It doesn't mean annihilation. Just separation. Somebody may chop off his arm. Yeah. Does it mean that he has lost the concept of having an arm? The concept is in us. It means I have, if you like, 2 aspects of one existence. That's called human being. Human being consists of body and all the sensual side of the body, right? Which is called soul. Human soul, your intelligence, your eye, and your power of sight. So that your eye doesn't see. We talk about it a lot as a simple example. But your power of sight is not your eye. Your eye is a tool for your power of sight to see. The power of sight is gone, your eye doesn't see, cannot see. You understand the difference? So it's not only life that we have senses. Life, for example, plants have life as well, but we don't know which kind of sense they have, but I have something different from life, definitely something different from my body structure, which is called soul. So the separation of the soul doesn't mean that my existence extinguished or extincted. Is it right? Extincted. Doesn't mean that. Got it? So I now understand that my need comes from an absolute being, eternal being, and the means of satisfaction also comes from eternal being. So my existence belongs to that eternal being. My need for satisfaction also within my existence belongs to that eternal being. It is if you go back to the beginning, very simple example, a cup of water and the ocean, accessible to you within your existence. This eternal being, we should not alienate or externalize the creator. How? The creator can be perceived, if you like, the action of the creator can be observed within your creation, within the creation of anybody else or anything else. Because it is the result of the act of creation. Nothing within the universe can be explainable without attributing it to its eminent is very important, eminent presence of its act of creator, eminent presence of it, the act of creator of that thing. So if the act of creator doesn't function, can we explain the existence of anything? No. So it is impossible, because we have to attribute everything to the act of the creator. Otherwise, nothing can sustain its existence by itself. That is what we experience in the universe. Nothing can create itself. Nothing can sustain its existence. For example, can you sustain your existence? Can you? You are continuously being changed. Can you stop it? You see, you have no power over your existence. You can only use what is given to you. Got it?
Yes.
So that is very important to understand in order to get the eternal, permanent satisfaction for your desires. For example, desires are of two kinds. One is hoping something to happen to you. The other is hoping that it may not come to you. How can you guarantee? Can you guarantee any accident will happen to you? Can you guarantee your existence for tomorrow? No one can guarantee in both senses anything. Nothing else. Can the solar system guarantee your existence? Can
From the
solar
sun,
system?
the sun, we get nutrients from the sun, so a little, somewhat.
My interpreter is not here. Sorry, my hearing.
We
Oh.
get vitamin D from the sun, I'm saying, so
Yeah.
that way it's helping us for our existence.
For our existence, vitamin D is creating, giving existence to me, or it is already created in the sun. Which one?
Well, it's already created in the sun, but it's helping all of us.
But no. Okay, the air you are breathing in now, no? Exhaling, what was? Inhaling. Now, the air you are inhaling now is helping you. Is it the creator of your body or anything?
No.
It is just a tool created and means prepared for it. So you have to question the source of existence of air molecule, right? So I understand. I don't blame any of you, and myself as well. We are gone through a very, very notorious secular education. We think that the means are the source of existence. Yeah, example, the postman is the one who sends the letter to me. Postman is a postman employed by the one who sends the letter to me. Got it? So if an agent doesn't write the text or message to you, can the computer produce a message for you? So obvious, isn't it? So don't be afraid. I'm sure you don't mind. If you don't mind, don't answer. Okay? You are a graduate, university graduate. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Not from
I-
NYU, yes.
No. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yes, you see. how many years you have gone, you and I, no, maybe twice as much I went through this survey. So I don't know how many years your education was altogether. Mine was until the age of 30 something. So we are gone through more than 20, 30 years of secular education. We cannot really easily get out of it, number one. Number two, also, we cannot really find another way of reasoning. But what we do, we escape into a source that satisfy our expectations. This is religion. What we do now, although our minds work in a secular way, attributing the creation to matter itself, by itself, but our expectations do not get satisfied with this. What we do, we jump into religious sources. That fits me. But still, the source of disease is acting behind my mind. Because we keep reasoning in a secular way, but taking religion for granted. So we have to combine it, question it, and base it on a very real experience, which is confirmed or accepted by our reasoning, so that we will be satisfied with it. Nothing can act on its own. Do you think the air molecule can act on its own? Okay, sure. Can the air molecule create itself? Is it independent? It has to follow the order of the universe. You see, it is a slave of something else. And so many things altogether follow the order of the universe. What is the source of existence of the order of the universe? Whole universe, the order. We have to question. So the source cannot be within the universe, because I am asking the source of existence of everything within the universe, because everything within the universe needs to be given existence, cannot be the source of their own existence. This is a very fundamental, basic, and also a simple understanding, reasoning. Everybody can understand. But since we left our materialistic, secular reasoning working behind our minds and jumped into religion and borrowed in an imitative way from the religion some concepts, these concepts are not certified, confirmed by our reason, because our reason, it still works there in a secular way. So we have to question the way of thinking in secular way, how acceptable it is, how reasonable it is, and what am I going to do with this information now? Now the air or the vitamin D given to the sun, of course, sun cannot be the creator of vitamin D, because it needs itself to be created, the sun itself. So it is created. For example, when the laptop functions here, is it the creator of the program, or it is functioning according to the program? According to the program. Can it be the source of existence of the program? So what is the source of existence of the program? Can I find it within the computer or outside? It means nothing of the computer, but something else. So we have to use our reason. That's what we are doing in this class. We don't do any religious discourse in this class. We reason and learn how to reason to confirm our belief, our conclusions. Is it correct or not? If I say the universe has a creator, how did I come to this conclusion? So I have to question every single matter that I am interacting. I have to question. What we are doing now, we are questioning the source of existence of what seems to be hurting me. Some of them, how many kinds of relationship we have? Now, one, something is created for a good reason, and I misused it. That's number one. Yeah? And because of my misuse, who's going to give me an example of something created for a good reason, but I misused it and it hurt me and it became evil for me? Give me an example.
Fire.
Yeah?
Fire.
Yeah. How can I misuse it? Put my hand in it. Okay. Or our typical example is you send it to the Islam from within knife. Give me the example.
So the
Now, that is number one.
Yeah.
There are some more stages. Yeah.
the manufacturer of a knife, they don't have any kind of evil intention.
Hmm.
So I purchase it, I can use it either to cut onions or I can use it to cut
Yeah.
a
But,
person.
okay, that's correct. Okay. So you gave a best example about the knife again. Either to cut somebody's throat or to
Yeah.
to
Clever.
use the same knife for surgery.
Right.
So when I use the same knife for a surgery to help somebody to recover his health, it is what we call it good. But the same knife used by me to kill somebody else, it becomes evil for me.
It could even be the same exact act.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah.
Same act of, I don't know, cutting us right in the stomach. You know, one could be stabbing it though, and
Yeah.
one could be surgical incision.
So that is one thing. Another thing is something happens to me in the universe which is not the result of my choice. Correct? For example, I don't know, hurricane, tsunami, earthquake, or as I was walking on the sidewalk, a drunken driver comes and hits me, and either I die or I become
Disabled.
Injured.
sorry,
Injured.
injured. Yeah, possible. It's not as a result of your personal interference. So how am I going to understand this? The third thing, which is somebody touched upon it. Oh yeah, very hard touched upon it. I see that something happens, and because of my misconception of the creation of that thing, I may interpret it in a wrong way and end up with feeling sad about my being. I am not lucky, etc. Again, it causes depression in me because of my interpreting of the event in a wrong way, not in the right way. What is the difference between interpreting an event in the right way and in the wrong way? Now, if I interpret the event in the wrong way, I am saying this event happened accidentally with no purpose, and I became the subject of this bad action. And I didn't choose it. Yeah, earthquake. I didn't choose it. So I said, how then I am unlucky? Why am I unlucky? Why was I subject to this bad event so that I feel unhappy, pain about it, because psychological pain. Most of the people, especially those people who suffer from depression, suffer because of their misinterpretation of any event happened to them. They cannot get out of it. They say, I'm unlucky. I cannot do anything. They cannot use their free will to interpret it in the right way unless they want it. They want to question how come the earthquake or the storm or whatever or accident happens. As far as the creation of that event, we have to go where? Always, what is the source of creation of this event? For example, earlier our friend there gave the example of illness. Yeah, about illness caused by microbes, germs, or whatever other, they call, what was the word for it? Okay, it didn't come to me.
Bacteria?
Bacteria, for example. What is the source of existence of this? Who can create it? Who can create the cancer cell? Now, we have to put all these three elements in our scenario now at the background of what this friend said here, the purpose of my existence. So I have to establish first, what is the purpose of my existence within this universe? What is the purpose of my existence? So don't copy paste from religious sources. Just tell me your rational conclusion. What is the purpose of your existence within the universe? Your own conclusion. Who will tell me? Your own conclusion. I think I exist for this purpose. Don't copy paste from the Quran. We are created to worship God. No, it doesn't work here. So, what is that? Who will tell me? Okay?
And just to taking the point shared by the friend earlier, I think I'm created for happiness.
Purpose of your existence for happiness. So,
Yeah.
I mean, why do you think you are given this quality? How are you going to fulfill it? How are you going to utilize it? Have you ever thought about it? So, my purpose is happiness. But happiness in which term? Happiness on a daily basic temporary events, series of events, that anything I want, like a spoiled child, I want this toy and then another toy and then another toy.
Sure, ideally, yes.
But can you get the satisfaction? Or can you fulfill the purpose of your existence by getting temporary things continuously? A real event, just to relax and think, just give a break. I was with a child and we wanted to buy him a toy. We went to the toy shop. Everything is toy for the children. We asked him, which toy do you want? It's a real thing happened. which toy do you want? He looked this side, the other side. But he said, all of it. It's really happened like this. But this human nature spoke there. You want all of it. But if I took this child to another shop with different toys, what do you think this child would still say?
I wanna go back.
All of this as well. Is there any end? Okay. What does it mean? Human satisfaction for eternal happiness cannot be met even by the whole universe. If they give you the universe, you know that they are going to die one day. What are you going to do with the universe? It is trouble to take care of it. Yeah? You don't need it. The universe doesn't satisfy you. So what does satisfy you? In order to have a happiness, experience the happiness, which will never disappoint you. What does satisfy you? Any answer? Eternal happiness. Where can you get the eternal happiness? Through what? Only through thinking, reflecting on the existence. So if you find the source of existence, which is absolute, and if you attach your existence, therefore, if you attach the existence of your happiness to that eternal source, he can satisfy. That is the source, that is the objective purpose of my life, to find the eternal source of happiness. Not only it is an ambiguous expression to use, not only I need eternal happiness for myself. No, I need to find the source of eternal happiness. Do you understand the difference? Yes?
How do I find my purpose?
Now, to reach this eternal happiness, attach your existence, the existence of anything, become aware of it by reflecting, by reasoning, reflecting, never forgetting, by keeping, remembering that whatever I need, it is created, and whatever is created, the source of existence of that creature, created thing, is the absolute one. So I can only get satisfaction by attributing the existence of this thing to the absolute one. If I am satisfied with it, I am satisfied with the result. The result is the source of existence of anything I desire for my happiness is the eternal one, absolute one. Remember the example to this gentleman, this friend, we discussed ocean and a glass of water. A glass of water is not important. Maybe small, maybe big, not important, because your expectation of satisfaction is limitless. You cannot get a limitless glass of water within the universe. If you know that the source is limitless, and if the source is accessible to you, I am repeating if you like, if you notice, if the source is accessible to you through reflecting your existence, then you say, my expectation of happiness, which is absolute happiness or limitless happiness, infinite happiness, can be possible only by the source of the creator of this expectation. My expectation within me, I didn't create it. I found myself with the need for eternal happiness. So attributing it to it, the source, by remembering that the source of existence of this need is the absolute one, and it is ever immanent. It is ever immanent in the existence of the need itself. Do you understand this process? So, in the existence of the need itself, you see nothing but the act of creator of that thing. And this, the source of the act of creation in that thing must be absolute one. That's what we have to conclude. We have to keep remembering that this source of existence is eternal and absolute. It is presence in everything. Because everything is created, sustains only by the act of existence. Everything is created, which is sustained in existence only by the source of existence of that things, which is absolute. Got it? So when you sit like this, so I'm being created like, what is happening to you? I'm being created now. I am given existence. By whom? Whoever is giving me existence. So that is why the concept of the creator, which is called in religious language God, God should never, never, ever be externalized from our existence. He is the maker of me right now. And this making process is constant because the source is absolute. Right? Must be the absolute. If it is not absolute, cannot be the creator of the thing. Do you follow?
Could you repeat, please, the last one?
Sorry?
Could you repeat the last one, please?
Okay, somebody else.
Well,
We don't hear your voice. So somebody who don't speak yet, who doesn't speak.
I actually had a question.
So repeat that. And then
Okay.
ask the question.
All right. So basically, the moment, or I find myself existing, and I find myself existing with particular needs or wants, and
With particular identity.
needs or wants, needs
Need.
within myself, and relationship with everything around me, and I come to the logical conclusion that the things themselves cannot be the source of existence of themselves.
So
I also, in this recognition, I also come to the conclusion that the one who must have given me this need, for example, hunger or whatever, can only be the one who can, or before even before that step. So sorry, maybe I'm confusing a little bit. Before that step, so I recognize that I'm existent, that I have a relationship with everything in existence, and that things cannot be from themselves. And I come to the logical conclusion that the source of existence of the things, the nature of these things must not be of the nature of the universe, because everything within the universe is dependent. Everything within the universe is dependent. It has a transient nature. So I conclude that the source of existence of these things must be one that is not of the nature of the universe, must be by definition absolute. So within this conclusion, then I can also say that the one who gave me this need for hunger, for example, must also be the one who can eternally satisfy this need.
So I have to touch it. I touch the need.
So what we were talking about was, once I come to this realization and I attach
my need for anything in existence to the source, which is by definition in this case now at this step, absolute, then at every single moment I am just given existence, I'm already connected to an absolute source. And that should, by definition, already
Yeah.
satisfy my need.
If we can give a very simple example, but keep your question and don't forget it.
I'm not gonna.
Very simple example with a practical example. For example, the sun and the light coming from the sun. Yeah. If sun stops, of course, it's an example. Analogies are limited. If by definition we should understand reason. If sun stops emitting light, can you get any light? Okay, that's so simple. So as long as you get the light, you are feeling the act of sun imminent in the light that you got. So God is with you, which is called you may say something. It's not very common in Islamic terminology, which is called al-hadar, al-ghaib, al-hadar. So, but in the Christian theology, it is very widely used. Have you ever heard of Emmanuel? The name Emmanuel?
Mhm.
Yeah, Emmanuel. It means El is God. Emmanuel, the eminent God. Ever-present God, it means. You understand? Yeah, the ever-present God. So ever-present. It means it is. But I don't know how they explain it because they don't pay attention to the creation side of the universe. So, in general, whatever they say, but this is a really interesting and true concept, Emmanuel. So, ever imminent God in creation, in this universe, because we see that the universe continuously needs to be given existence because there is no source of other existence in the universe. When the source stops creating it, giving existence, no existence. So we see that if the existence is here, it means the source of existence is imminent in the act of creation. It means it is creating because it's an absolute being. We can think of it like a builder making a building. No, it's an absolute being. Anytime, at any place, anything exists, his presence is there. That's what we conclude. We don't conclude by thinking in this way. That is a very important matter. Noah said that God is present here. No. I can only explain the existence of anything in this universe that I experience is given existence, must be given existence by a one who is the source of its existence. There is no other way. So, in the example of the sun and the light, we know that sun is up there, but let's assume that we don't know the sun, but we are experiencing the light. As long as I get the sun, it means, I get the light. You don't correct me. So as long as I get the light, it means sun is acting, emitting light. Right? So I don't have to see this. As long as I experience the light, that's enough. A proof that sun exists and is active. Right? So don't look at the sun. You don't have to see the sun. As long as you have the light, that's it. Guaranteed that sun is acting. Right? Did you get it? Simple. So as long as we exist, we are sure that the Creator is acting. From our side, we don't think of the matter from Creator's point of view because we cannot imagine absolute, infinite. What we have to use here, existence. Existence is the witness to its creator. In Islamic literature, it is called, and also in the Quran, it is called, God is witnessed and witness. In Arabic, shahid and mashhud at the same time. Why? Because in everything, what I see, the act of it is creator. What is seen there, the action of its creator. So I am always in the presence of the creator. He is mashhud, observed, witnessed. And he is shahid, he is ever present in the creation. Do you understand this apparently contradictory word?
How is it contradictory?
Because one thing is shahid and at the same time mashhud, witness and do witnessed. So we have to, it's apparently contradictory. Because when I look at it, what I see, the act of it is creator. Yeah? And in the act of the creation, I see the action of the actor present there at the same time. So it is the Quranic language. Some simple-minded people with a bad intention say Quran describes God with contradictory words. Simple-minded. Don't pay attention. So your question.
Okay, so you said as long as I exist, I'm sure the creator is acting, or the creator must be acting. As long as
It exists.
as long as I exist, or something is in existence,
So if it is existing, it exists.
there must be.
There must be logically.
Right. So, isn't there a difference between connecting something that exists to its source and between making sure that I continue to exist? So I know I come to the logical conclusion that I exist right now. So I'm coming into existence as a result of the one who brought me into existence, who's not of the nature of this universe, who must be by definition absolute. But isn't there a difference between this and also that I will continue to exist because I cannot secure this. I know that as long as I exist, I belong to the one that is absolute, but I may not
Continues of your existence.
Yes, how can I because so I know there's a source who can satisfy me, but how can I be secure that I will be always satisfied?
Now, you cannot secure that you will be always in existence, but you can understand that your existence belongs to the eternal one. Your existence belongs to the eternal one. As long as eternal source exists, it will be in action on your existence as well, because your existence belongs to him. That's why Quranic explanation is important. But let me give a very simple example again using this. Welcome. It's very Muslim way of no. Okay. So I have a faucet. When I open it, there is a water. So okay, well, there is water. Okay, I open it. If this water is supplied by the ocean, one ocean, the largest water reservoir or source we can imagine. That's why I say ocean. Now, as long as ocean is there, do you think your faucet will, or will keep supplying water. The source is there.
Yes.
Although you may use it only once and turn it off, but still, water is ever present there. As soon as you turn on, it starts coming. So this means as long as you remember where do I get the water, it is guaranteed. So if the source is not ocean but absolute, infinite one, do you worry? In the language of the Quran, it is said, very famous, but unfortunately, majority of the Muslim population use it as a very, very extremely narrow way. When somebody dies, they say, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. It's a very limited and also degrading to the meaning of the verse. Why? Only when I die, I will turn God. What does it mean? I am always coming from God and turning to my Creator. Why? Eternity in my existence. Because my source is eternal. So my source, for example, now let's say the simple example, child age. Were you once upon a time a child, a baby? Okay. So where is your babyhood?
Not
So
here.
it's gone. Okay. But do you still exist?
Yes.
Yes. You still exist. Although your existence has almost infinite within the conditions of the universe phases, but the change of the type of your existence never means that you lost your existence. So the problem is you are young now. God willing, we hope you will be given a middle age and old age like me and like a gentleman here, but you are younger than me. So I'm the oldest still. You cannot compete with me. So near, closer to me. Okay. So older ages, your youth is going back. Because it doesn't matter. As long as you know your youth is not with you anymore, but in your memory. Okay, that's a sign. That's a sign that in your memory, that's a sign that, oh, you still keep it in you. Something that you were a child, you were a young person. Okay. Now, your change of your existence, the type of existence, may go through death as well. Does it matter? Because you were in the womb of your mother, completely different type of life, different type of existence, even in a cell, completely different type of existence, but existence is existence, right? So even the cell of the first man created, you were present there. Ask the biologists. Right? It means your existence, millions of years, maybe, I don't know, millions, thousands, whatever it is, doesn't matter, billions, doesn't matter, time doesn't matter. Backward, you still existed. And do you remember any of it? No, you changed completely different. You became a cell, and then in the DNA structure, you were registered there. You were present there in the form of a seed as compared to the tree, right? In the form of a seed. And then you became a janin, it was a small shoot coming out of the earth, janin, and then you became a tree. And you will become an old tree. You understand that the change of the phase of your life doesn't mean that your existence disappearing. This shows that you will go through different phases, but your existence will be preserved by its source of existence. That's why the Quran says it. It is from the Creator, and you are not going into annihilation. You will turn to your Creator. It means you can guarantee your future by attributing the existence of your future to the absolute source. Returning doesn't mean that, so I came from my home to this room, right? I am going back to the room, not in this sense. It is not the material sense. It means only you can guarantee your existence in the future by referring it to your source of existence, which is eternal. Do you understand? It means we have to turn in our understanding our existence to its eternal source. Raji'un means this. Not necessarily I will take my body and put it in the, I don't know, depot of my Creator. Upon each other, every moment I'm changing. Every moment my body is piled up. It is ridiculous, isn't it? So it means the Quran, I think, let's change the subject. It is very essential. In order to understand the Quran is your Creator to help you to understand your human needs, to get the answer to your questions. That's why Quran must be understood in terms of your comprehension of existence, not in physical terms. Your comprehension of your existence. So it is a guide to teach you your comprehension, the comprehension of your existence. So you have to turn your existence to its source in your understanding, which is called realization of your reality, which is called in the language of the Quran belief, iman. So always the source of existence is in ghaib. Do you understand this? Ghaib means what? So I had my something in my pocket, I dropped it and I lost it. Ghaib doesn't mean losing.
Unseen, right?
So physical experience is impossible, but logical understanding, comprehension is necessary. That's called ghaib. So do you understand the definition of ghaib? Physical experience, not that we don't experience physically. No, because it is impossible to experience it physically. Why? We can experience physically things within the universe. The Creator of the universe is not of the nature of the universe that I can experience it. Do you follow? If you don't, you can listen to it again, because you are carefully following to understand, to make sure, because it is not an accustomed way of thinking that we keep hearing in the community. Usually, there may be some, but not very common. So when, for example, we turn to God, it is easy to say, what do you mean by turning to God? Huh? What does it mean? So Quran addresses your feelings, your questions. So it is theoretical. It is not physical. So your understanding of your existence must be interpreted by referring your existence to its source. Otherwise, you cannot return your body to its source. Your body continues to changes, and it is changed by the Creator. A new existence, a new continuous, constant new existence you are experiencing in this world. So you have to understand that I have to return my existence to its source in my understanding in ghaib. Ghaib means absolute. Do you understand? So you can guarantee that your existence is infinite, because not you are going to keep your existence infinitely. The source of it is infinite. So it belongs to the infinite. So when you realize this, it belongs to the infinite, you turn your existence, not your life, only everything, your existence to its eternal source. It means وَإِلَيْهِ رَاجِعُونَ or وَإِلَيْهِ تُرْجَعُونَ. Yeah, it is an understanding. It is a belief matter. Belief doesn't mean that based as acceptance. So belief is confirmation of your conclusion. If you don't confirm it with the evidence, it is not belief. It is imitation or, I don't know, culture. It is not belief. You have to confirm it intellectually. You have to be satisfied with it. So you have to have a satisfied heart about it. Somebody is wrapping up. What time is it? Let me see. Come on.
7:57.
Yeah, but we have 3 minutes. So, do you understand this? Because you cannot, or we human beings cannot attribute our existence physically to something. So we have to understand at an intellectual level how I can make sense of my existence. How can I make sense of my eternal expectation of my existence? How can I make sense of it? So that is why Quran is the source of belief in ghaib. What I cannot know within this universe, Quran says, I can help you know it. So it gives you intellectual guidance. You understand this difference? So most of the problems rise from misunderstanding the mission of the Quran. So those people who talk about the Quran mostly interpret it or understand it in a physical form. No, it is a matter of belief. Matter of belief means abstract notions, which is theoretical, intellectual, not physical. Yes, of course, I can see the universe physically, but I conclude, we said, for example, a glass of water satisfies you. So I have to question the existence of the glass of water, which is physically existing. But when I start questioning the source of existence of water, which is physical, I conclude about what? Intellectual conclusion. The source must be absolute. I'm just shortcutting it because we discussed on it from the beginning. So the source must be absolute. What is that? Is it physical? No, the conclusion is intellectual. So this intellectual conclusion, if you can confirm this intellectual conclusion, feel satisfied with it, it becomes your, say, somebody? Belief. That's what the Quran guides us to believe. Quran doesn't teach you, I don't know, how to make an airplane or how to make a ship, as a Noah and Solomon example, for example. No. So, to conclude, inshallah, without further going into another subject, which is the third verse. Inshallah, we are going to study next week, inshallah, min sharri ghasiqin idha waqa, the third verses. It means and from the evil of darkness when it gathers, all the dense comes on top of each other. So that is the subject for the next show. But today, what we have to understand now, anything evil that we experience must be either by our misuse, wrapping up, or really summarizing, either by our misusing it, or something happens to me not involved with, not my free will is involving, something outside of me happens to me without my free will. A war is declared, and a stupid man came and dropped a bomb, and I died, or I became disabled, for example, or damaged, hurt. But it's not me. Or earthquake happened, I damaged, for example. Accident happens without my interference, and it happened. So how do we explain this? The third stage is how you perceive this event according to the purpose of your existence. And if someone does not specify what is the purpose of his existence, he cannot answer this question. Why? Accordingly, it will make sense. For example, if someone says, my purpose of existence is to satisfy myself until I die, there is no answer to it, because this assumption is wrong. And until I die, it's not human. I want eternal happiness. Eternal happiness cannot be stopped by death. Understood? So I want happiness, which is eternal. How can I find it? By interpreting the source of this need for happiness, attributing it that it can be created, the need for happiness, by the one who created the universe. Nothing can create this sense of happiness or need for the sense of happiness. So only the one who created the universe can be the source of existence of my need for happiness. So my purpose of existence is to find out this source. Is it possible? How can I attach my existence to it? How can I communicate with it? Got it? Does it make sense? So if I explain my existence, the purpose of my existence, by attributing it to finding out the source of my existence as to be the eternal one, then I can understand that any damage happens in me in this universe, within the life of this world, I must interpret it in terms of not within the life of this world, but in terms of it is eternal creator. So I may be hurt here, okay? As a result of this hurt, do I get eternal hurt? Or do I experience something temporal? Which one? I am hurt. Yeah, I'm feeling pain in this world. Is it an eternal pain? It is a temporary pain. Why this kind of temporary pain is created is the question. So, through this temporary pain, what you understand, first, you cannot be the source of existence of yourself, because you cannot prevent yourself from feeling pain. You cannot be the source of existence of the pain, that you are experiencing. So with your consciousness, what you realize, I am giving the opportunity to understand that my existence does not belong to me and I cannot control it. It is under the control of something, somebody else. Did you find the eternal source of existence now? It is not within the universe. So you attach the source of existence of this pain to its eternal source. Then you achieve the purpose of your existence by finding out that it is through this experience that you realize you are not the source of existence of yourself, but something else. So it is humbling. It is making you realize that you don't own yourself. It is a wake-up call. It's a wake-up call. So when you interpret this, saying, this is from my Creator, teaching me that I should not attribute my existence to myself. I shouldn't feel that I am self-sufficient. No, that is the only way. Can you imagine if we never experience any pain, if we never experience temporariness, transience, if we never experience any need that somebody will satisfy this need, what do you think we can say? We conclude. I am self-existing. I am self-sustaining. I don't need anyone. I don't need any creator, anything like that. I exist by myself. I am a self-subsistent one. Is it true?
We can say I am in paradise. What you explain is like a paradise.
So, no, in this world. So, what I say, I don't need the creator. I don't need to find out the source of my existence because I'm not experiencing any lack of anything. Only through goodness and something else that I'm not happy with, I go through this training. The universe is the training center to get to know what the source of your existence. That is the purpose. So the purpose of existence has been fulfilled when you realize. So that is why death is given. Can you imagine? Death is not given. What happens? If death is not given, it means I shouldn't get old. Yeah? I should be self-sustaining, self-subsistent. If I don't get changed, if I don't get old, I should be self-sustaining, self-subsistent. You understand? If I'm self-subsistent, why do I need any source of existence? Is it really true? In reality, can you say that you are a self-subsistent being? No. That's why we have to understand through different experiences that I belong to an absolute source. The purpose of our existence is to realize that I don't belong to myself or to anything else within the universe. So simple. So through different means that I have to go through. Otherwise, if there was only what I think good, what I experience even on temporary basis, not evil, I would never be trained and educated so that I would never be able to fulfill the source of my existence. These are important concepts. If someone doesn't have the concept of eternal existence coming from the eternal source, if someone describes this universe as a material lump or sum of things, and death is the end of the source of existence, this is the end of my existence, then this person cannot bear what anything created which makes this person feel needy and temporary being, and cannot guarantee his existence. He has to get angry with anything he dislikes. It means evil. They call it evil. We don't call it evil. There is nothing in the creation which is evil. Even when I burn my hand, I learn that, look, I am dependent. I cannot guarantee my life. Yeah, there are people dying in fire. They cannot guarantee. It could have been, this person could have been me. I cannot guarantee. Right? It means this is a small experience are given to us. Not only the bad things happening to us. For example, for how many days a person may be ill, generally speaking, in his whole life? Maybe 1 year, 2 years. Yeah? But the rest of their 70, 80 years of age, they are enjoying that. Yeah? So it is rare, but it is necessary that we have to feel pain. We have to experience what we don't like, so that we will realize our reality. If there was no option of experiencing pain, there would be no way to fulfill our purpose of existence. And we will be misleading ourselves, saying that I'm self-sufficient, self-existent, self-sustaining being. I don't need anyone. And this is not reality. Everybody knows that it's not reality. Okay. So we have to see that pain is created for a purpose. But in order to make sure that the source of pain is not within the universe, it needs an eternal creator. Source of illness needs an eternal creator. Because it is the lack of something, for example, a germ or anything. Question the source of existence of this germ, you will find out that it must be an eternal one. There is a purpose in the creation. This purpose helps me discover or fulfill the purpose of my existence. We have to understand this. We should not be selfish. We can be selfish in order to make my existence sure. How can I make my existence sure eternally? Yeah, I can be selfish there. So look for the reason, for the explanation. You find out that, okay, I am comfortable now. So selfish means a temporary satisfaction. Don't cheat yourself with a temporary satisfaction, because human beings cannot be satisfied with temporary satisfaction. So make your human need active. Make it active or activated. So my satisfaction is only possible if it is eternal. If it is absolute, my satisfaction is only possible. So in order to get or reach the absolute, we have to go through different stages. Now, static creation does not give you opportunity to learn something that you need. Static creation. If there was no ignorance, there would be no learning. Yeah. If there was no pain, there would be no realizing that I don't guarantee my existence, my being, my happiness. I don't. I am not the source of my own existence. So we have to understand that this kind of creations are for a purpose. Inshallah, that's enough. Yeah. What time is it? Again, let me see. Yeah. Okay. Inshallah, we can wrap up. And 19, but 3 minutes later, the Maghrib will enter, so we can get ready for that. If anybody wants to pray. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka anta al-alim al-hakim. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين بحرمة الرسول